And we are live for another 1 hour sauna session. We're changing it up a little bit this time. We made some upgrades to the environment here, to our production room. So hopefully you guys enjoy it on your end. We're going to be doing a 1 hour live session in the 2-person hybrid. So I'm standing right next to it here. If you guys are just getting into the chat, drop any comments down below, questions. Do you have a 2-person sauna? Have you used an infrared sauna before? And I'm going to go through just my typical 1 hour sauna session, and you guys are going to come along with me. So for starters, I like turning on the unit and then letting it heat up for about 10-15 minutes. Gets it up to around 100 degrees, close to that core body temp. And then you can jump in with it, heat up with the unit, and make sure all those heating elements are running the entire time. So we're going to turn the unit on here, and then we're going to let it heat up for about 10 minutes. If you guys are just joining, welcome. Where are you guys tuning in from? Do you guys use traditional saunas at all? Do you use infrared saunas? What type? How long have you been using them for? And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat down below. We're turning on the unit. We're going to let it run for about 10 minutes here, get it up to 100 degrees. And I'm going to start by putting some towels on the bench and on the floor. And that just helps absorb a lot of the moisture that's coming off me, and then makes cleaning it and kind of the maintenance and longevity aspect of the unit really practical, as far as just taking the towels out when I'm done. I can throw them right in the washer. So super, super easy. We're letting it heat up to about 100, 110 degrees right now. We're going to jump in for the hour-long live session in the GHS 2-person hybrid. So we're at around 78 degrees on the interior of the unit right now. So starting at around room temperature, roughly 70 degrees. And we're going to get it up to around 100, 110. That's when we're going to start our hour-long session. We're going to shoot for an hour. If you guys tuned in last week, you saw that we made it about 55 minutes. So the hour is the goal. You're really emphasizing a lot of the cardiovascular benefits, skin purification, circulatory, muscle relaxation, and muscle recovery are those big benefits you can get with a full infrared sauna session. And now all the studies out there take a full session being anywhere from 30 minutes up to an hour. I like to do about that 45-hour-long session. Like I said, really emphasize the cardiovascular benefits. You'll see we're going to try and get my heart rate up on the screen maybe throughout the process, but you'll see my heart rate starts out around resting 60, 70 beats per minute. Goal is to get it up into the 140s, 150s. That's going to be closer to that stage 3 cardiovascular benefit. And so we're at about 85 degrees right now. Give it another 5 or so minutes, and we'll be up to around 100, and we can start our 1 hour live session in the 2-person hybrid. And so would love to hear from you guys, where you're watching from, if you've used an infrared sauna before, have you used a traditional sauna before, and kind of how long have you been using it? So we're starting our 1 hour live session shortly here. It's in the 2-person Good Health Saunas hybrid series. So it's got a 4x4 blueprint. It's 75 inches tall, and you can put it anywhere indoors. So carpet, hardwood, finished, unfinished flooring. That's one of the nicest parts about infrared. There's no venting, no plumbing, no water lines. You can just plug it into a 110 20 amp connection or a 110 15 amp connection, depending which model you're looking at. If you guys have any questions, drop down in the chat any of those, or go over to our website, goodhealthsaunas.com. All of our reps are more than happy to walk you through the options, figure out which one's going to work best for you guys, and then obviously make sure we'd be a good fit too. So we're starting the 1 hour live session shortly here. Welcome if you guys are just chiming in. This is going to be session number 2 of the live Tuesdays. Are we live? I don't see it on Instagram. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and all the other ones we're working on. So this is the first time we're doing a multi-streaming. If you're in the Instagram algorithm and you've popped up, welcome. We're doing a 1 hour live session in the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid series. We are on session and episode number 2 in our series. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat down below, or stick along for the ride for the 1 hour live session in the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid. So we got unit that's heating up. We're going to put the towels on the bench and on the floor here shortly. And then we're going to start our 1 hour live session. So I always like putting towel. I just fold it up to cover the entire bench. Makes it a lot easier in the long run, keeping the unit clean. And then nice part is you can just take the towels out when you're done and then throw them in the washer. So get that going here. Towels are going in, so we just put one on the bench there. We're going to put one on the floor, and that helps absorb a lot of the sweat. And then when you're done with your 1 hour session or 30-minute session, you take your towels out, just throw them in the washer. It makes it super easy as far as the longevity. Cleaning is just 3 parts water, 1 part apple cider vinegar if you do want to wipe down any of the lumber on the inside. Big thing with Good Health Saunas, it's all real lumber, so it's not plywood, not particle board, press board, or anything like that. So super important to make sure you're obviously having safe materials from a reputable company, and it has enough heaters. So you guys can't see it right now, but if you go on our website and you'll look at all of our models, they have 360-degree heat. So that's built-in floor heat, lower extremity coverage, and then they all have wraparound heaters that go nice and above your neck and shoulders too. So any neck pain, shoulder stiffness. Last week, I did a session in the Good Health Saunas 3-person corner hybrid unit. That's one of my favorite models just because you have plenty of room to stretch your legs out on the bench. And so with the 2-person hybrid, I do like having the built-in ergonomics. You get a little backrest with some lumbar support, some curvature to the seat, makes it a little extra comfort. And then having a 4x4 makes it plenty of elbow and shoulder room. So even one person, plenty enough room to move around comfortably, stretch out a little bit. Whereas if you wanted to enjoy it with someone else, you guys will see here shortly that it's very spacious enough for 2 if you would like. So we're about 100 degrees. We are going to start our 1 hour session in the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid. Welcome if you guys are just checking in. Let me know where you're watching from, if you've used an infrared sauna before. And we are going to be starting our session here. So I'll take the mic in, and then we got our 1 hour live session in the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid series. So let me get my mic on the inside for the live audio for the session here. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the chat below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Have you used an infrared sauna before? We're getting the mic placed on the inside, and we're going to start our 1 hour live infrared sauna session in the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid. So it's got a 4x4 blueprint, 75 inches tall. It's about 110 degrees in there right now. We're going to start our session and see how long we can last in the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid. So minimal clothing is best in an infrared sauna. That's where you're going to absorb a lot of the infrared, making sure that it has the 360-degree heating elements. So and welcome to our 2-person hybrid series live session, coming to you in the 2-person hybrid series from Good Health Saunas. So minimal clothing, starting our hour-long session, and then we'll track our stats along the way. You guys are going to come along with me, and we're starting our session at 4:10. Goal is to make it at least 5 o'clock. Key is bringing tons and tons of water, guys. You're going to want to stay hydrated before, during, and after. So we're getting in. We're starting our session. And then I have my phone in here this time so you guys can ask me some questions, and hopefully we will be able to get some good responses going. So this is the 2-person hybrid. Let me know if the audio sounds good. We'll take a thumbs up in the chat. We're starting our session out. So that means start the Apple Watch. We'll go to our fitness, other, and we're going to start it. Ready in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. So we are in the Good Health Sauna's 2-person hybrid series. It's a 4x4. You'll see, like in the corner unit, the heating elements still go nice and above my neck and shoulders. So that's one of my favorite parts. Having the built-in ergonomics, a little bit of extra comfort in there makes a longer session really enjoyable compared to just the flat back and the flat bench. That's one of my favorite parts. Hydration before, during, and after. Like I said, that's super, super important. We're still going to be drinking plenty of water throughout the session. So that's the main goal. A lot of people, if they just start using a sauna, or if they just start using an infrared sauna for the first time, sometimes they'll use it and they'll feel maybe not the best afterwards. And a lot of the times that's just caused from dehydration. So they're not drinking enough water before, and they're not drinking water during. Maybe if they're trying to drink plenty of water after, they're still not able to hydrate themselves up enough after the fact. So drinking plenty of water before, and then also with electrolytes, sodium, potassium, those are tons of super beneficial minerals to have when you are sweating. And so replenishing those fluids, super, super important. The unit is about 120 in here right now. We're going to make sure it's set to 165. We have the wraparound heaters that you'll see here. So 360 degrees. This 2-person, even though I'm like 6'1", 6'2", still plenty enough space for another person in here. So I can put my arm out straight, still can just touch the sidewall. So if 2 people are in here, it's very comfortable. You still have plenty enough room for 2, but if you're in here by yourself, that's where you'll see it's nice and spacious. I mean, you can have your arms above your head here, stretch out. And a lot of customers always ask if they're planning to use it with someone else as a 2-person, plenty enough space. And it is. Obviously, a couple variables come into play. But if you have the space for a larger unit, I know when I'm using it personally, I like having plenty of room to stretch out. Your muscles are going to feel really good. You're going to feel really loose, really relaxed. So having that just option, if your space is more than capable of, is something that I would definitely recommend. And so last time we liked having the colors change. So we're going to do that again, maybe in just a slower, little bit more gradual transition. So that seemed to look good. Let me know in the chat where you guys are checking in from. Have you used an infrared sauna before? Where have you used it? And any questions that you guys have, drop them in the chat down below. We're doing our 1-hour live stream in the 2-person Good Health Saunas. So you'll see in the 4x4 blueprint, it's plenty enough space for 1 person. Even if you wanted to be in here with someone else, or if you wanted some room to stretch out, you still can bend your legs, have your back up against the side heaters. So you're still getting that infrared coverage in the neck and shoulder area. And then obviously still very comfortable if you are just in here by yourself. So my typical session goes for about 45, maybe an hour long. Like we were talking about last week, that last 15, 20 minutes is when you really emphasize the cardiovascular benefits. It's like doing an hour-long workout on the treadmill where you're going to be sore, you're going to be stiff after. The nice thing with using the infrared sauna is you get all that muscle relaxation, all the muscle recovery, while still getting a passive cardiovascular workout. So you're not going to be stiff. You're not going to be sore after the fact. You're actually going to feel a lot looser, a lot lighter, just more nimble. And obviously with that muscle recovery, you're not going to be as stiff and those joints won't be as sore. So tons of benefits. You'll see that we're already starting to sweat slightly. So we're getting a light glistening going. That's how you know all the pores throughout your entire body are opening up. It's not like in just a traditional sauna where you can see all the little beads of sweat on my arm here. or throughout my body where all the pores are opening up. And that's what's going to allow the heavy metals, the toxins, the carcinogens to get pulled out throughout your body. And so this is something that I like to do regularly. Consistency beats intensity every day of the week. If you're going to use the sauna for once a month, you're really not going to see or feel all those long-term health benefits. Now, it's better than not using one at all, but if you really want to see and feel those health benefits, using it at least 3-4 times a week, you're going to start to see those benefits a lot quicker and a lot more noticeable. And so it's starting to get warm in here. It's up in the 120s. Heart rate is only 88 beats per minute right now. So it's getting up into the 90s. Big thing with that infrared heat is, I know when I have used like a traditional sauna or a steam room at the gym, like the steam room especially, you open the door and you can't even breathe. You can't open your eyes. It's agitating your nose, your mouth. It still feels good once you get acclimated to it, or if you're holding a towel over your mouth just so you can breathe. You still get benefits. You're still going to sweat. I can only stay in there for maybe 5-10 minutes if I'm pushing it. Whereas like a traditional hot rock style, I'll maybe be able to stay in there for 20 minutes. But the infrared, I can actually take a deep breath. I'm not having to worry about my eyes getting dried out. It's not burning my nose. It's not difficult to breathe. So you actually get much more of a cardiovascular workout. And I like to explain it as far as when you vasodilate the blood vessels, and that's what's happening with the infrared heaters. That infrared heat is actually getting about 1.5 inches into that soft tissue muscle. And so then what happens is it vasodilates blood vessels. That's going to allow more oxygenated blood, because remember, we can take a deep breath so we can get more oxygen. We can get more oxygenated blood flowing throughout the entire body with the vasodilation of the blood vessels, as it's like running blood in fire hoses compared to garden hoses. So that passive cardiovascular workout actually allows your heart to become a more efficient pump. It doesn't have to work as hard because it's like running blood in fire hoses compared to garden hoses. So it reduces your risk for cardiovascular disease. I like it for the detoxifying aspect. I mean, we travel a lot as a company, going through airports, immune system, obviously pulling out the heavy metals, the toxins, carcinogens that we're just exposed to in everyday life. It's really a game-changing health device when you start using it consistently. And there are customers, or I wouldn't say customers, there are people that have used an infrared sauna before, and they may say, oh, it didn't get hot, or I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't get any of the benefits. I didn't feel any different. And I always like to ask, well, what type of sauna did you use? Not all infrared saunas are created equal. If you listen to something on the $10 Amazon headphones, and then if you went and got some Bose headphones, you're going to notice a difference. It's the same thing with a sauna. The quality of the materials, the actual output of the heating elements. Are they producing medical grade infrared where your body can absorb? Or is it more similar to sitting in front of a space heater, where a lot of those lower qualities, they're built for a price point, not functionality, and definitely not longevity. And so that's why even in this, it's solid. Those low quality ones, plywood, particle board backs, it feels like if I twisted and turned, I could pop my elbow right through the wall. So that's something that you want to look for, is just making sure it's all real lumber, 360 degrees. So look at the back, look at the bottom, make sure it's using all real lumber, and ask for safety certification and testing. That's the biggest thing, guys. If a company claims they're toxin free in the construction, or if it claims low EMF or claims medical grade emissivity, ask them for the third party reports. That's the deciphering factor in the industry. What separates a low quality price point unit from an actual medical grade, trusted by fire stations, Olympic athletes, professional athletes all across the country. And there's a lot of companies out there, or there are a few companies out there that make a decent sauna. What really breaks out this hybrid from the rest is the amount of heaters. You won't find another sauna on the market with as many heating elements per square foot out of any infrared sauna on the market. And so that's something that I really benefit from, having nice built-in floor heats, calf heaters. You really can't see it right now, but having the lower extremity coverage, makes sure there's nice quick heat up time like you guys saw here, even heat distribution, and we carry a lot of the toxins in that lower half just as gravity naturally pulls them down that way. So it's super important to make sure you have heating elements around there. A lot of companies won't offer a built-in floor heat. That's one of my favorite parts, is I can still have my feet on this floor heater, relaxing a lot of the muscles, especially after working at a show. We do the home shows or the trade shows all across the country, where long days, long hours, one of the big benefits I noticed, having that built-in floor heat, actually relaxing a lot of the muscles that get just super stiff, and it's really hard to kind of relax in those lower extremities. So same thing with my calves. If you're a runner, a cyclist, or just anything that you're on your feet a lot, whether it's work or for hobbies, you're going to notice a big benefit having heaters around those lower extremities. So we're going to take a quick hydration break, as everyone should. Maybe if you guys are just checking in, welcome to the Good Health Saunas 1 hour live stream from the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid. Where do these go? Asked Alexis. I like one spot I can think of. It's probably a pretty good spot, Alexis, I will say. Most people put them in their basements. Spare bedrooms, probably another popular spot. You can put it on carpet, hardwood, finished, unfinished flooring. So pretty much anywhere indoors. That's one of the really nice parts, as far as there's no venting, no plumbing, no water lines. And the assembly of the unit is 4 walls, a top, a bottom, the bench, and the bench support. So it typically takes about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending where you're at in the country. We offer delivery and install pretty much nationwide. So drop into our website at goodhealthsaunas.com. If you have any questions, myself or any of our other representatives are more than happy to answer any of those and walk you through which sauna is going to be the best for you and your health goals, and just make sure we'd be a good fit, obviously, too. So we're only about 12 minutes in. Heart rate's in the 92 beats per minute, and it's a little hard to see on camera here, but all these little beads of sweat that are accumulating all across my body is that really beneficial detoxifying sweat. So compared to like a traditional sauna or a steam room, where I'd mostly be sweating from a lot of my head, my arms, and all of the areas where you're typically going to try and cool yourself off naturally, where a lot of the sweat glands are developed. And so with the infrared, that's what's opening up the pores in my body. Like we said, it's getting more oxygenated blood flowing. But then when you're also raising that core temp, that's eliciting a fever-like response. So I'm not only sweating because it's warm in the ambient air, but all of that heat, or actually 80% of that heat, is actually getting about 1.5 inches into my soft tissue muscle. And so big thing with an infrared sauna compared to the conventional or traditional is that infrared. Sorry, I'm trying to get my chat pulled up here for you guys. My sweat's not making it easy to operate on the phone here. But with the infrared, it's raising my core temp. So it's actually eliciting a fever-like response. If you've ever been super sick at night, sleeping throughout the night, you're sweating buckets in your sleep, that's your body's natural recovery mode. And so I think we're having, if you guys dropped any comments, drop them again. I don't think any of them loaded for me. So obviously I want to answer any questions you guys have. Big thing is using the sauna consistently. So this is something we're going to try and do a lot more. We have session number 2 of our 1 hour live stream. We're in a different sauna this time. So we're in a 2-person. Last time we were in the 3-person corner hybrid unit. And so that has almost a 5 foot by 5 foot from the back corner, or from the back corner. It's 5 feet out both directions. Whereas this unit is just a 4-foot square. So this is really nice if it's someplace as far as space constraints, or if it's maybe just one person that's planning to use it. This is a perfect size. As you'll see, I have plenty of elbow, shoulder room. I can stretch out, arms nice and above my head. And then even if you were in here with someone else, you'll see plenty enough room as far as elbow and shoulders. This unit, I will say, gets a little bit hotter than the corner unit just because I'm a little bit closer to those heaters. So it's not a giant significant difference, but I will say being a little bit closer to those heaters is going to raise my core temperature a little bit quicker. And a lot of the times when I'm using an infrared sauna, it will be a very, very light sweat for a short period of time. And then it's like a light switch. And then I just start river sweating, profusely sweating from all over. And so that's when you know your core temperature got elevated. It simulated an artificial fever. So like I was saying, if you've ever been sick at night, sleeping throughout the night, you're sweating buckets in your sleep, that's your body's natural recovery mode. You're simulating that inside the sauna by raising your core temp without any of the symptoms or side effects of that fever. So your body really can focus on opening up the detox pathways, improving muscle relaxation through improved circulation. Then obviously getting that cardiovascular benefit too. So those are the key reasons why I like using it. Welcome to our 1 hour live stream in the 2-person hybrid. Staying hydrated is super important when using any type of sauna. So we're going to make sure we're doing that. We got a lot of questions about kind of calorie burn too. And people are like, can I actually burn calories using an infrared sauna? And for sure, you can actually burn anywhere from, obviously depending size, age, a couple different variables, anywhere from 600 calories per session. So I'm actually at 100 calories already. We've only been in here for 15 minutes. Heart rate is 102 beats per minute. So like I said, the goal is to get it up in the 140s, 150s. The nice part is if I didn't necessarily want to get that super high heart rate, I can still sit in at a lower temperature. I have it set up to 165. If you guys are just getting in here, we jumped in around 100 to 110 degrees. So that's close to the core body temp. And so that allows me to heat up with the unit, and it makes sure that the heaters are constantly running. And so this way I'm able to stay in for a little bit longer because I can actually breathe compared to that high air temperature in a traditional sauna. And then I can also have a much more of a relaxing experience because it's not burning my eyes. It's not making it difficult to breathe through my nose or anything like that. And so 17 minutes in, we're 100 degrees or 100 beats per minute. We're staying super, super hydrated. Very, very important. I don't know if our chat is live. I would be very curious to where you guys are checking in from. If you've used an infrared sauna before, let me know which kind, what brand, where at. Was it one of ours? We're sharing the live stream now. Let's see if we can get some peeps in here. So welcome to the 1 hour live stream in the Good Health Sauna's 2-person hybrid series. We're in the full spectrum infrared heat with our hybrid heating system. This is the 2-person model. It's got a 4x4 blueprint. If you guys are just getting into the chat here, welcome. I like using the sauna, especially in the evening, because it helps me sleep a lot better. So we're using it 4 o'clock right before, and I don't like using it like right before I go to bed. I like giving it an hour or two, just because then allows my body to kind of naturally cool itself off. And then I can kind of really fall into that deep sleep. Obviously, if I try and fall asleep like right after, I'm still kind of sweating. Heart rate still might be elevated. So I like giving it an hour or two before I plan to go to bed. But everyone's body's a little different. So the main thing is listen to your body. If 4 or 5 times a week feels like too much, make sure you're drinking enough water. But start out 20, 30 minutes, set it up to the 140, 150, 165. Get in around that core body temp and then heat up with the unit. So we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to jump over to the YouTube chat, see if there's anyone that has any questions on there. If you guys are watching, welcome. We're doing our
1 hour live session in the 2-person hybrid series. We're looking for our live stream. We seem to only be live on Facebook. No. Now we're on all of them. Confirmed. I'm not seeing it. Oh, we are live on Instagram. Oh, Kevin, there we go. Okay. Kevin, yours is located in your carpeted basement. That's awesome. In the chat on the bottom. Sorry, we're figuring it out over here, guys. It's gonna be great once we get it figured out. Okay, I'm still trying to see your guys' comments on my phone here. We're still working on that. Welcome if you are just joining in. We're doing the hour-long live session in a 2-person hybrid series. Just trying to get the chat pulled up. We're about 20 minutes in. Heart rate's above 105 beats per minute right now. Calorie burn is 116 total calorie burn. On the bottom, there's a tab. So we're still working on that. I don't know. Okay, still working on the chat. I can't see what you guys are commenting, but if there are any questions, drop them in. We have our team that'll be more than happy to answer any of those for you. My phone is a little difficult to use when I'm sweating, so that's on me, but we will be better. We're, like I said, 20 minutes in. We're going to go for another probably 45 minutes, hopefully. It gets a lot warmer in here the more I talk. So like last time, I believe this 20-minute mark is when we got a little quieter. We don't start the struggle bus until we're at about 40 minutes. That's when we get on the struggle bus. So get your bus emoji out for when that happens, because that is always the fun part. All right, we're about 20 minutes into the hour-long session. I'm still working on the chat here. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. Have you used a Good House saunas before? Have you used an infrared sauna? What type have you used? If you haven't used an infrared, was it a traditional sauna? Was it a traditional, or was it a steam room? Have you ever heard of an infrared sauna before? If so, what? Alexis asked where these go in the home, and I will say most people put them in basements, spare bedroom, anywhere indoors, carpet, hardwood. If it's like a finished garage or a gym space, those are definitely some of the most popular options. Nice word is no venting, no plumbing, no water lines. So, my phone's going to overheat here any second. So then we're really going to be in the dark, but it's okay. We're 20 minutes into the 1 hour live stream. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat down below. Where are you guys watching in from? Where are you checking in? Do you guys like to use saunas all year round? I think that's a pretty good topic for this time of year, especially with spring right around the corner. I hear a lot of customers saying, oh, I would only use it in the winter when it's cold out. And then they get it and they start using it and they realize it's an addicting feeling in a good way. It's something you're going to want to use regularly, and you're going to crave it when you haven't used it, especially like I mentioned, when we travel to the shows and events. Sometimes it's a 10, 12, 18-day event where one of the first things I do, if I don't even do it when we're there, is come use an infrared sauna. And I know like Eric and I will go to hot yoga studios all across the country, still get in any form of sweating just because of how beneficial it is. But my favorite type, hands down, is the infrared. So much less abrasive on my body. I have the same energy going out as I did coming in, and I feel a lot lighter. I'm more alert. I'm more awake. Whereas a traditional sauna or hot yoga, sometimes I just feel wiped out after. And that's because it's mostly water. Whereas I'm not actually eliciting that fever-like response. It's just trying to cool the surface of my body off. And so that's why traditional sauna, you're not going to get that elevated core temperature as quick just because it's heating you from the outside. Whereas the infrared heaters that are wrapping around my body, and that's why it's super important to have 360 degrees, because then you can actually raise the core temperature throughout your entire body, which is going to elicit that fever-like response and give you all those endorphins, chemical reactions in the brain with serotonins, the dopamines, that when you have to sweat, your body naturally creates those happy hormones. So that's where you get a lot of benefit with seasonal depression, mood stabilization. And 25 minutes in, heart rate 112, lights are still on the cycle mode. If you guys are debating using or trying an infrared sauna, I would recommend go use one at one of our wellness locations all across the country. Very cool interactive map that we can send you, and more than happy to point you in the right direction so you can actually try one out. That's something that I always recommend. If you have the opportunity, we have our store at the Mall of America in the Minnesota area. If you guys are there, I'm at our Waukesha facility right outside Milwaukee area right now. And then we still have our location up in Appleton, Wisconsin as well. So all three of those brick and mortars, and we still have some home shows coming up this year. We're pretty much wrapped up with the home show circuit. We still have a few of them left, and then we're getting ready for our state fair season. So if you guys are in one of our big state fair states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Massachusetts, we are getting ready and super excited for all those events. We're in a pretty neat spot right now. If you guys are interested, or maybe something you're thinking about in the next 6-8 months, we have some great deals with our spring sale going on, $500 to $800 off, and then some additional savings on in-stock units as well, kind of depending payment method, location, and obviously in-stock availability. So easiest way is just drop them down in the chat, or if you click the link below, you can schedule a quick consultation with me or any of our other team members. More than happy to, like I said, give you a full virtual tour of our facility here. We have all of our makes and models, but then also kind of our research and development side too. That's really neat. If you guys are seriously considering an infrared sauna and you want to make sure you're investing your money in the right way. And that's obviously something that we pride ourselves in. That's something that we specialize in, is infrared saunas. A lot of companies out there may have 15 other products. They may try and sell you a bathtub, a massage gun, or a kitchen remodel too. But we make sure the saunas are the safest, the most efficient, most effective infrared saunas out there. And that's really backed by the most up-to-date third-party safety certification and testing, which then we go ahead and we post those results right to our website for you guys to take a look at. It's not just us claiming it, or it's not just our website developers who threw it up on our website. Those are actually third-party companies that, again, it's their specialty in air quality reports, like IQ Diagnostics. They do testing on schools, offices, churches to ensure safe environments. So they come out, test fully functional, fully operational units to ensure nothing off gases into the unit. I'd hate for any of you guys to invest any type of money and then get something that doesn't get hot enough even, or worse, it's more detrimental to your health than it is beneficial. So that's something that we are all very, very passionate about here. We know there's tons of marketing and advertising out there online, but do your homework, do your due diligence, look at Better Business Bureaus, look at Google reviews, Facebook, not just the advertising and marketing team. They're pretty good at their jobs nowadays, I will say, but look by customers for customers. I would just hate for you guys to, like I said, invest any type of money from a company that may not be there in a year or two. "30 minutes in, folks. Heart rate 122. Phone is still on. We're still working on the chat. We'll try again and get it pulled up. Calorie burn 166 on the calorie burn. Let's see if we can get it up to 300. I'm not really using the sauna necessarily for the calorie burn side of it, but like I said, I do like that cardiovascular aspect. So it's kind of a nice complementary benefit. But staying super, super hydrated, that's going to help you guys out in the long run. We're just trying to look at the chat here, get it pulled up again. If you guys are just getting in, welcome to the Good Health Saunas 2-person hybrid series 1 hour live session. Oh, user. Oh, love mine. There we go. Somebody loves theirs. Which one do you have? I would be curious. Do you have a hybrid series or do you have one of our signature series? Where do you have it? How long have you had it for? We love hearing from previous customers. Welcome to the hour-long live. We're halfway through, guys. We're 30 minutes in to our 2-person hybrid hour-long live session. Everyone likes to ask about the heart rate. Will I actually sweat? I think the proof is in the pudding here, guys. I am sweating buckets. So I said 40 minutes for the struggle bus. We might be getting on at 35. Get your bus emojis out in the chat. You got the hybrid in your basement. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have the 2, the 3, or the corner unit? I don't even know if I have a personal favorite. They're all, phenomenal in their own regards. I know a lot of people lean towards a 2-person if they are looking for that smaller blueprint. Like I said, I was in here earlier where it's still plenty enough for 2 people. I'm just fixing my towel on the floor. So like I said, for my first couple minutes, I normally have the towel or have my feet on that floor heater. And now that we're really starting to get a good sweat going, we're going to kick the towel out. So it just does a lot of the heavy lifting as far as cleaning. Oh, but 2 people, very comfortable in here. It's 4 feet wide. So 2 people still not sitting on top of each other. But if you're in here by yourself, plenty of room for your elbows and shoulders. So cracks in the chat. Struggle bus. I lost my phone. Got the 3 so I can stretch out a little. Really happy Eric talked to me and told me to go with the bigger one because he was right. Eric is always right. If that's one thing, Eric knows the saunas very, very well. He's one of the most genuine guys I know and always looking to help anyone if they're looking to invest in their health. So he's phenomenal. He's right. I'm glad you like your 3-person. Is it the straight unit? That's probably my favorite too. I like the corner. Like I said, you can stretch out both directions, but having the built-in ergonomics, like in the 2-person here, that's what really makes this, kind of a night and day difference. Also underrated is the ergonomic seat. I don't think people understand how uncomfortable just a straight flat back and a flat bench can be for an extended period of time. Obviously, it's still very comfortable. I'll still lean up against our side heater or even in the corner hybrid series, those are just flat backs. And so still very comfortable, but if you're looking for something with little extra comfort, that ergonomic built in, that's something that I really enjoy. And just a note on that too, there are companies that add some ergonomics where I've sat in them. It's almost like pushing my chest out and the ergonomics or the actual support doesn't match up to a normal, like comfortable sitting position. So if you have the opportunity to actually touch, see, and feel it, I always recommend doing so. Companies make the pictures look phenomenal online, but once you actually get it in your home, that's when you can kind of see if they cut corners as far as heater placement, quality of the materials, or just the actual like longevity of the unit too. A lot of them use like paper thin benches where if you get a year or 2 out of it, that's pretty good. But this being all real lumber, and that's why we always recommend putting towels on the bench and on the floor. That does a lot of the heavy lifting. Heart rate is up into the 135s. We've been in 33 minutes. We're going to go for 45, and we're going to start the struggle bus at 35 minutes. So get the bus emojis out in the chat. We're starting the struggle bus here. But like I said, that's kind of my favorite part because that's when you're really emphasizing the cardiovascular benefits. Yeah, you got the straight unit. That's awesome. Like I said, that's one of my favorites with that extra ergonomic and then that extra foot stretch out. That's the one that a lot of our pro athletes, Olympic athletes, they'll go with as well. So 445, get your struggle bus. Can we see a bus emoji in the chat? Because we're on the struggle bus. water. There's the bus emojis. There we go. Yep, that's what we're on. When were you using yours, user? You seem like you were just on the struggle bus recently. When's the last time you used yours? I don't know if that's on. I wish I could see what chat that was on. Where are you tuning in from? Where did you get yours? Just online from Eric, or did you stop out to one of our events? Sorry, we're on the struggle bus now, so talking kind of subsides, focuses on breathing and meditation. You got Bluetooth speakers, so normally this is when I just have like music. I'm just jamming out, trying to sit in here as long as I possibly can. It's warm. He was in yours. I was in mine last night. Usually use it 4 times a week. That's perfect. That's awesome. How long have you had it for? I feel like I'm just kind of sitting in the gym, like talking to somebody in the sauna. No. 35 minutes in. Calorie burn is up to 225. Heart rate's in the 120s. Like I said, we need to drink water. Stay hydrated. We probably didn't drink enough water today, so a little dehydrated. And did you know that's why room temperature water is more beneficial as far as a hydration standpoint? Because I'm hot right now. I'm drinking cold water. My body has to burn energy to heat this water up to where it's actually soluble to my body. So that body temperature is normally 98.6. Everyone's body is normally 80% water. So in order for me to be able to utilize this water for like hydration, it needs to be that normal body temperature. So like I said, using energy to heat this water up to my body temp so I can actually make it soluble is why room temperature water is more beneficial as far as a hydration standpoint. Taste wise, the cold water tastes phenomenal in here. Do you guys want drop some? Do you want to see me use a different company's sauna? Do you want to see me keep using our saunas? What would you guys like to see in some of the lives going forward? If you already have our saunas, you just want like tips, tricks, suggestions. Yeah, the struggle bus is one-way ticket on the struggle bus right now, folks. Welcome to the 1 hour live session, 2-person hybrid series. We are working on it. We're 37 minutes in, guys. I don't know how that corner unit, we lasted a little longer. Whew. Like I said, I'm a little closer to those heaters. So same thing in the 3-person. You get a little bit closer to those heaters depending on where you're sitting. So, 125. Now if Alexis wants to play some music just so people can watch me. Oh, yeah. I think we got to do them in the corners. More room. I get room to move around a little bit. But this is good for you guys to see what a 2-person is like. And kind of like you saw in the chat, user said he went with a 3-person for a little extra room. If you have the space for it, I've never had a customer say they wished they went with something smaller. So just a little tip for those out there if you're looking. Heart rate's in the 130s. All right, let's see. We're going to go for 45 minutes, guys. I think we did 55 in this corner. But I will say this one did run during the day at some point. It was a little warm. I heated it up, so I think that jumps me a little behind the 8 ball per se. We're on the struggle bus in the 1 hour live, 2-person, Good Health Saunas hybrid series, 4x4 blueprint, plenty enough space for 1 person, stretch around, 2 people, you still have plenty of room. Oh, 136. Next time, be more planning for these. Crazy. 143. There we go, guys. Heart rate's up there. The passive cardiovascular workout is what we really enjoy. Because I know I'm going to feel amazing when I open the door. When I open the door, I'm going to immediately wish I didn't and stayed in for another couple minutes. We got 5 minutes. Can we see a 5 minutes left in the chat? Just give me some hope. I need some hope here, people. Or drop the buses because we're on the struggle bus. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. And it's just too good for you. All right, guys, we're 40 minutes in. Heart rate's up in the 140s. That's the goal we were looking for. So we can chalk this session up to a success. If you guys are curious about infrared saunas, go in the link down below. You can schedule a consultation with me. I'll have way more energy in our call than I do 40 minutes into a sauna session. So more than happy to walk through the options when I recover. Give me a few minutes here. But this is the 2-person hybrid. We're going to go live again next week, Tuesday. Same thing. We're going to do it in a different unit. We might do a competitor unit. We might not. We'll see what we are thinking at the time. Oh, man. Oh, Mandy. Well, guys, they say everyone's body's a little different. We were working for it today. We're at 42.50. 42 in mine. Well, I think 45 minutes in is going to conclude it. Anyone who says they're not sweating in these things, I'd like to challenge that and say, get in around body temp. Get in around 100. Sit in here for a full. If you make it past the 45-minute mark, you're a champ. All righty.